The Porsche Cayman or the Porsche 911. I often get asked in the comment section how I choose one over the other. So, let's talk about it. And you did it right from the start. Before I get into the rest of the video, this isn't a debate of which one is better. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either. They're both phenomenal cars. I am not an expert. I can't debate which one's faster on the track and stuff. I'm just gonna tell you how I chose what I chose, which is the Cayman, and why I didn't go with the 911. But there's positives and negatives to both, you know, so take it with a grain of salt. This is just my opinions. Missing someone, is as normal, missing someone. So on one hand, you have the icon, the 911, Porsche's flagship car. I mean, what can be said about it? It's an icon. And then you have the Cayman. Some people call it the 911's little brother. Could be, you know, but it is a good car, as a lot of people know. I was personally looking at a 997 versus a 987. I was searching, they were both within my budget. For the Cayman, it was between the 2008 to 2010 realm. That's where I could find the S model that I kind of wanted within my budget. For a 911, it was more between 2005 and maybe a 2008 with a lot more miles on it. Again, for an S model, that's where I was searching. That was within my budget. Now, my introduction to the Porsche world came from my friend's dad. He had a 964 911. To me, the 964 and the 993 are my favorite years of the 911. And if I could have afforded that, I would have gone that route. But the Cayman, in my opinion, is a little closer in size to the 964 than the 997 or the 991. You know, they're starting to get bigger, wider, just bigger than they used to be, which is not a bad thing at all. They're actually getting way better, becoming better cars than they used to be. But to me, the Cayman just seemed a little closer to that old school kind of 911 size, which is what I wanted. So that was one of the reasons that I went the Cayman over the 911. And you deserve. You did it right from the start. Another thing to consider is that the 911 compared to the Cayman, the 911 just has more horsepower. It's a bigger engine, you know, and you're gonna get a torquier, faster off the line. So if you're looking for that, then I would go the 911. You know, I came from a truck and a Ford Fusion, so to me this was a big jump. The Cayman was a big enough jump in speed for me. Some of you guys might not feel that way, so consider that. The 911 would be faster off the line. On the track, probably faster. I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not an expert, but the Cayman can hold its own when it comes to taking turns and stuff. But if you're looking for that raw off the line speed, then I would go the 911 route. For me, I didn't need it, so that's why I chose the Cayman. Damn, it's such a shitty day here in California. Check it out. It looks like there could be some hope in the background though. So another thing, you know, with a bigger engine, the 911 is rear mounted, mid-engine mounted on the Cayman. Now, I've heard from people who own 911s that if you haven't owned a sports car, you know, that rear engine could be something to get used to, you know, getting in and out of turns and, you know. So with the extra power that the 911 has, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous that going from a non-sports car to a, you know, a high-performance sports car like a 911, it would get out of control for me to a point where I wouldn't be able to handle it. I never felt like the Cayman gets out of control. I feel like I can use all of it, and it's kind of like it's forgiving because it's so balanced that you can kind of learn how hard and how hard not to push it. I don't know how it would be with a 911, but that's just for what I've heard from people who own them. You know, if you don't know, it can get away from you a little bit. Missing someone. So I'm part of a Facebook group, the Porsche 911 997 group. Yeah, they allowed me to be in it because they liked one of my previous videos. So I thought I'd ask them, and I asked them why did they choose a 911 over a Cayman when they decided to buy their car. Most of the responses I got was, you know, when they were growing up, they looked up for a 911. You know, that's their car they wanted, the icon. You know, they didn't want just any Porsche, they wanted the 911. So most of them picked it because they had this ideal of owning a 911, which is more than fine. You know, that is a good reason. If you want a 911, you should go for a 911. Don't settle for a Cayman if that's the way you look at it. And that's the thing, I've never felt like I settled for a Cayman. I was not searching just to get a 911. I wanted a car that I thought had the features I wanted, and that was the Cayman for me. The icon that is the 911 is a beast car. There is no doubt about that. The only time that I regret getting the Cayman is when this happens. Yep, I'm in the soccer mom SUV because I have to pick up my little girl. So there is time I wish I had the 911 just for the transportability. You know, I wish I had my whole family in my car with me, not just my wife and I. But, you know, maybe in the future a 911 will be in my books, or maybe a Macan, who knows. But for now, I'm happy with the Cayman. I do not regret not getting the 911 for the reasons I stated. You have to make that decision, you know, do you want the icon, or are you okay having the Cayman, which is a good performing car? You won't regret it either way. Thanks for watching the video.